So I'm in speaker view now. This is the next episode. I think we're up to 10 or 11 episodes now. And we were going to talk about Orlando Hamcation, and we will talk about that. But you know what? Ad-libbing, we're just talking about ham radio, preppers, zombies, revolution, 747s falling out of the sky because they lose power.
And they turn off the atmosphere.
They turn off the atmosphere. The guys who turned off the atmosphere that are controlling the 747s in the air are the same guys who weren't turning on the HF bands. And that's the guys I'm pissed off at right now. So check this out today.
Shut up and sit down.
It's going to be a great show.
That's going to be
this just got fun.
It's all about having fun, man. All about having fun. So welcome to Sterling, Rob, Steve, Mike, Bob, Josh, Kyle, Kevin, and Smoking Ape, who shall remain. The ham radio operator formerly known as Smoking Ape. That's your new name. So, Kevin, you didn't talk a bunch in the last episode, dude. So
I haven't looked at the AR double L whatever in probably 2 years. That website.
Double L.
Dude, I barely know.
ARL.
AARL.
AARL.
I'm on the
So
AARP
everybody else
website.
AARP.
Yeah.
AARP.
If you have any questions about
just-
AARP, Bob's here. So
Before we go, yeah, thanks. Before we go any further, I just want to explain why I look like Orange Man bad.
yes, do that.
I just got home from Quartz Fest.
From Quartz Fest.
Yeah.
Literally just drove 1,100 miles and
Gosh.
and got home, an hour before we started this, unpacked the motorhome, had a freaking great time. And it actually, what I did this week or last week now, directly relates to what we're going to talk about, because we were out in the middle of the Arizona desert and there is no hookups. There's no water faucet. There is nothing. You bring everything out there.
There's
and
no
you
sunscreen
pack it
either.
all with you. Obviously, no sunscreen either.
Shade.
But had a freaking great time.
I saw you fraternizing with the enemy, if you will, all the other YouTubers out there.
Right.
That was pretty cool, actually.
The panel y'all did.
Like
Yes.
with K7AG and Dave Kassler and Jerry Ellsworth.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good video.
Yeah.
Or
You guys saw the video?
Yeah.
I watched the
Yeah.
first 15, 20 minutes of it, and then I fell asleep last night.
Because Kevin said he
Not because
hasn't
it's
even
boring. I'm
posted
just
it
saying.
yet.
It was late at night when I was watching it.
No, he's
I
posted it.
always go to sleep to
Yeah.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Dave's
Okay.
channel.
Yeah. K's are
Okay.
OG.
Kevin Laughlin is gonna.
I'll put a
it's like his camera though too, so I'll be.
I'll put a link to that video right here. You guys click right here and you see the video we're talking about. So switch back here. So yeah, Quartz Fest is one of those things that's actually on my bucket list. I want to go to it one of these
Same.
days.
Me
It's
too.
and if I go to it, I want to take my RV trailer out there. But that's like, without a trailer, that's like a 16 or 17 hour drive for me. So we're probably looking at closer to 20 hours with a
Yeah.
trailer, which I don't mind doing, but I'm going to have to just plan for it, because it's like, okay, 2 days to get there, spend a week there, 2 days to get back, that kind of thing. So, but I've always thought it was a cool idea to have a week-long ham radio RV outdoor ham fest. And I just, and I know that Ray Novak goes every year, because he doesn't live too far from me, so he's always posting stuff about it. And
Yeah.
it's I'm surprised Josh wasn't there.
Ray and I
go.
were like that.
This is Chinese New Year, by the way. Gong
Oh,
Hei Fat
right,
Choi,
yes.
the day that we're recording this, and that changes every year because it's a different calendar system.
Right.
So it's always on my list. It's just been really bad timing. My dad has a trailer. He's in Big Bear, so I can just drive over to him and hop down from there. But just haven't been able to do it.
Well, technically, that's in Arizona, isn't it? Even though
It is. It's in Quartzsite, Arizona, which
Yeah.
is 10 miles past the border of California.
Okay, so it's
So
only
it's
10
right
miles.
outside. So
I was
yeah,
thinking it was
everybody
right
goes
close.
there and buys their illegal ammunition
Fireworks.
and fireworks,
Oh gosh.
and we all bring it back. No,
Well, you
I'm
could-
kidding.
What you should do, Bob. Bob,
This
all
is
you
a
do
true
is
statement.
you just take all the weed from California and take it to Arizona and then trade it.
Oh, I didn't
And you
even
didn't
think
buy
of that.
anything.
Didn't you know what? Another prepper item, barter.
Yeah, barter. Yeah, bartering. So okay, so I do want to talk about Hamcation for just a minute. We don't have to make the whole episode about Hamcation, but we're recording this 2 weeks before Hamcation. Hamcation starts. It's the second weekend in February, I think. It's like February 8th and 9th and 10th or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. Whatever that
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday is.
Yep.
So who's going to Hamcation? I know Mike is going.
Maybe.
Steve maybe. Kyle's going.
I'm going.
Sterling. Eric
be
will
there.
be there.
Far
We're
from
gonna
Plug
we're gonna
for,
try to meet up
Eric
with Eric
Radio
when we're there.
Concepts will be there. He's got a booth.
I just got back from Orlando. I went last year. I happened to be there at the same time, but not this time.
Something for work.
No, we do a trip to Disney every year for a vacation, and just happened to be there. So we went out and checked out last year, and it was pretty cool. It just didn't work out for me this year.
Do you bring
It's-
your HTs to Disney and like listen into to what they're saying and like mess with them?
Yeah, I do. I don't take them into the park generally, but I do take them down. There's a lot of repeaters down there, and then there's some
Yeah.
DMR repeaters to get
Oh
on.
yeah,
It
there's
was
all kinds
a
of.
pretty good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Good. Well, we're gonna do some video recording at Hamcation for sure. I'm sure that most of us are gonna want to get videos of the IC705 mock-up model they have there.
Oh yeah.
So that might be fun. But Rob, are you going?
No, I can't get the time off from work, so
Okay.
we're gonna
Okay.
have to
All
pass.
right. Are you gonna go to Hamvention?
I'm planning on it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I emailed you guys about Hamvention. Steve, you didn't get that. That was before you were on the list. So I am working on getting us a YouTuber's booth at Hamvention.
Sweet.
So
Very nice.
so bring your whatever you have to advertise your channel. And
Will do.
and I'll update everybody on the email list between now and then. But the guy I've been emailing with is the vendor booth coordinator at Hamvention, and he's like, I'm in the middle of this and this and this. Let's follow up on like February 15th. And I'm like, that's great. That's right after Hamcation, so let's do that. So I should have more information middle of February or so. But
Is Bob allowed to bring what he uses for advertising?
if he can get her to ride along with him that far, sure. Yeah, that's fine with me. So at Frederick, has anyone ever been to Frederikshavn?
Yep.
Sterling, so they have
Yep.
booth babes there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
So has anyone ever told Bob about the booth babes?
Yeah, you
I
need to
heard
come
it from-
to Germany. Bob.
Yeah.
Hey,
like it's
I
You're
heard that-
talking to a guy who used to go to SEMA and PRI all the time. They're like a dime a dozen.
So apparently, yeah, Chris from Buddy Poll was telling me, he's like, dude, you like hire booth babes and they like advertise your stuff for you there. And you're like, I'm like, wow. Because I think I actually going to have the chance to go to Frederikshavn this year. We'll see if that works out or not. But not for the booth babes, by the way.
it's pretty cool. But
So-
yep, there are booth babes there. Honestly, other Hamfests too. Like I was at Winterfest, and every year I think Radio Waves and West Mountain Radio. It's like, what are you doing here?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A million antenna.
hmm
I know who
Cat.
you're
Are you a ham?
Thank you, Kat.
Are you a ham? Oh boy, so good. Okay, so The Walking Dead. Go.
It was. Why don't they have more radios in Walking Dead? That was our thing. Like before we hit the
That was our
record
thing.
button.
Should have been recording the whole time.
Yeah.
It should have been, yeah. Yeah.
The
That
only,
and
the only
22 long
radio they
rifle.
had.
I didn't know it was
22.
Gonna,
The only radio that they cared to have was the Sheriff Texas Walker's, police radio, and that wouldn't
Yeah,
even have
Motorola.
worked like at all.
But they did in later episodes. They do stumble on a ham,
Mhm.
a ham shack, and he ultimately, I think, killed himself. But
Mhm.
the station that they had was, an older boat anchor setup, and they don't even get it up and running. They don't have any coordinated comms. They have solar, right? So you think you're right there. You're ham adjacent. They could do mesh networking, right? Because they're in these compounds, they could do all kinds of stuff, and they don't. They do any of that.
It's just not good enough for the show.
But you see, that's the thing, is you have to have a mystique about it, and you can never show anybody how it works, because that makes you valuable, and then they can't kill you.
That's how Eugene stays alive.
Yeah, like you're the comms guy. If you can make an antenna, you can get an antenna on the air. You're a pretty valuable guy. Like here, like honestly, hand someone a ham radio and say, "Talk to me on this," or talk to someone else on this. It's not going to happen. So
yeah, Mike, your audio kind of dropped. I don't know what you did.
I didn't do
A musician should do a better job with his audio.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a job
The
for a
mic's not working.
musician after the zombie
Hello?
apocalypse?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
So
it
I haven't.
low?
That's
What's
better.
that, Mike? What's that?
You can't hear me?
That's
We
a
can
bit
hear
better.
you.
I can
It's
hear
just lower than it was earlier.
It's like something changed.
I've
Yeah.
literally done nothing.
There's an instance, and I do watch the show. I haven't watched this last season, but they've got these groups, right? There's like Hilltop, and there's these different compounds that they're all in communication with, right? But often it's like either off scene as a reference, or they're literally like walking out, in their cars, driving out there to go have these meetings and whatnot. It's like you have these secure places, right? And you're safe when you're behind the gates. And the first thing you don't want to do is go outside of the gates to just go to another area and talk. You literally just would replace all of that travel time back and forth. Just do it on the radio. Just be done with
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't, it
There'd be
boggles
no
my
show.
mind.
Yep.
Right.
Well, you can't have personal conflict and kill people over the radio.
We're zombies.
Well, you can have conflict. Just
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it doesn't translate well to TV.
no.
Well, perhaps not, but yeah. Yeah, I
they
I
I found a
watched
better way to get it.
I watched the first 4 seasons, and I stopped after about the middle of the season with the governor.
Mhm.
And I don't know.
That's
I
about
just
when
kind
stopped.
I just kind of was like, I really liked the first season was excellent. The second
Yeah.
season was pretty good. Third season was pretty good. The fourth season with the governor, I was just like, I don't know. I just couldn't be bothered with it. It wasn't that it was bad. It's just I found something else to do and never caught up with it. But I was always like, yeah, man, where's the guy with the CB radio in his truck?
Right.
Something.
I mean,
Yeah.
where's the guy with the FRS? They sell these FRS radios by the Baofeng UV5R. Where's the freaking UV5R? There's only 1.5 million of them on the market
Right,
now.
right,
How come
right.
nobody has a UV5R? Seriously. I mean, what is wrong with it? I mean, you have no radios at all?
Well, because there's only one, and you can't talk to anybody with it.
But that's all
It's
you need.
because
though.
they all bought the UV5R and never bothered learning how to use it.
They don't know how to program it.
Yeah.
And
They
they
didn't
can't
watch-
charge.
Chirp.
They didn't
They
watch.
can't charge the batteries anymore.
They didn't watch Ham Radio Crash Course. It
That's
tells you
right.
everything you need to know about UV5R.
They all have Baofengs, but they didn't go buy the legit cable that makes it easier to program.
Right.
So they're just like,
Is my audio any better now?
That's better.
Oh yeah,
All
That's
right.
better.
you're good.
they're all on some illegal frequencies that came pre-programmed on the radio, and that's all. It's
Like
just
the red,
a post-apocalyptic FCC people going after
Right,
all the legal broadcasters or transmitters.
Well, so what we were talking about earlier before we started was the fact that we kind of what Bob and I were talking about, how just like prepping and emergency comms and things like that.
yeah.
And we obviously The Walking Dead comes up, and it's kind of, we were talking about how Aries and races is a thing, but that's not why we got into ham radio, or I got into ham radio. It's because of if the zombie apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, happens.
If SHFT happens,
Yeah.
Whatever you want
Then
to call it, I have
have-
a method of communicating. I have
Yes.
VHF, UHF, I have batteries, we have solar, we have ways to communicate other than Aries and races, and kind of getting away from that like Red Cross thing you said, Bob.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what spawned this whole conversation. That's to me what ham radio is about, and I do it in a fun
Yes.
way, just going portable and all that. But all of that is practice.
for the
Or-
SHFT.
Yeah, it's better
Yeah.
to have it and not need it, and that's kind of
TF.
what.
And
TF,
to,
yeah.
It's
That's
TF.
He's a little older. He gets them
Whatever.
mixed up.
Okay,
No,
you know what? Hey,
it's all the
sunburn
sun on
setting
his
in.
brain. It's the sun.
Crown
They tried to-
Vanilla and Orange Man.
So, it's
That's so
the aloe
gross.
vera cream. The aloe vera cream's so good.
I
Hold on,
didn't want to
I
get
can-
it. I didn't want to get it demonetized today, so
Right.
I just
I
abbreviated
think I
it.
can send. I think I can send SHTF. Hold on 1 second. I think it's.
Oh,
Nope.
no, you can't.
He's using a key.
Ah, you messed the F up.
Yeah.
Got it, but the
I
F
always
was
get.
not.
F, I get F
You
and
missed
L
the
confused.
F up.
Hold on. That's the F up. Okay, so
Did
hold
you
on.
dot it?
So
No, that's L.
while
get
you're
F
L
and
is
L
the
trying,
dotted
mixed
it.
up.
while you're
do
thinking
too.
about that, Jason,
No, is this F or not? No, wait a minute. Hold
No.
on.
That's L.
No.
That's L. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's so it's.
The
No.
dotted
Did
it.
it dot
L.
it? Did it dot
I
it?
did.
Did it
I
is
did.
F.
Did it? Did it?
Well, your brain's sending that to your hand, and
Maybe
there's a
you perhaps
disconnect
Did
somewhere.
it? Did dot
There
it?
is. There's
did,
this
did
involved.
the dot don't. That's
Maybe
pretty
you
good.
should watch
This-
Sterling's
this is-
practice videos.
This
Yep.
is it. This is it. This is it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's slower, but okay, right. So
Yes.
There
that's
you
what
go.
I meant to. So
Yeah.
okay,
so
you're a
SHTF.
3-word a minute guy.
I know. Yeah, 3 word. Yeah, 3. And I don't
what
even
she
know the
said.
whole alphabet yet. So you
So,
know.
as I was saying, like and Mike. Yeah, there we go.
You were saying?
So, yeah, and radio emergency communications versus MCOM and the prepping world, I guess. The two types of communication. I get all these cool radios like FT3s and D74s and everything, and I like the digital aspect of it for simplex communication because
Yes.
to me, it adds a layer of security, almost encryption-like, with me and my friends and my family, that the guy with the Baofeng is going to hear,
Right.
and that's all he's going to hear, and he won't know how to fix it.
Yep.
So,
Well, and
that's
How many
why
of those
this is
digital
important to me.
radios do you have? Like, that's the
How many
issue,
what?
right? Like, how many of those how many of the digital radios do you have to hand out to people?
My friends all have them that are in my group. I have enough to get my family all communicating. And when we do something like that, I call it's a tactical communication, and not everybody in the group needs to have that tactical communication at that time. It's a short range kind of a thing. You might need 3 to 5 people that need to have a radio all programmed, alike with the same mode. Otherwise, other people are, are doing guard duty or, cooking or doing other chores. And you might have people that are doing, for lack of a better term, recon or going out and conducting a mission.
Yeah, you have certain comms people to do comms. You have certain cooks and nurses. You have people to do things. So,
No,
or whatever the case is,
what
but
Bob's
not
saying-
everyone needs a radio.
Well, I think what Bob's saying makes a lot of sense. That if you have different groups and each group has one digital, but
Yeah.
maybe that group communicates via analog or something like that, that's where it gets tough, right? Is that $500, $300 radios for a large group of people gets expensive. Baofangs are so prolific in the prep.
But I tell you what, when you think about it, how many guys go out there and buy a $300 Big Berkey water filter? People are spending a tremendous amount of money, buying food and buying other preps and getting, backpacks and solar blankets and all kinds of stuff, cool flashlights, everything. This to
So
me
they
is
can be an
just
island.
important to
So they
spend
can
your
be an-
money on.
Yeah, so they can be an island that they can't communicate out to the other survivors with.
Right. And
Yeah, I think you're dead on there, Bob. Like, one of the things is, like, I think UHF and VHF is severely underrated. Like, a lot of people are like, well, I have my HF station and my ham shack that I can use in grid down. It's like, you're going to need a bunch of folks that you trust that you can communicate to locally.
Right. Local communication.
Yeah, is much more important.
You know,
from where I'm coming from. I mean, you see guys with like $3,000 AR, but then they have an FRS radio from Walmart. Doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Now, and you know, honestly, I see in a grid down situation, the HF radio is good for basic intel. You know, what's going on the other side of the country? Is it as bad as it is here? That's about all you need to know.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse.
get yourself a shortwave radio, like the Sea Crane or something like that, where you can listen to the Ham Freaks, and then and also shortwave. But you're right.
No,
The
you gotta have all HF, VHF, and UHF. Like
Yeah,
Bob
you
said.
do.
You gotta hear
have it.
California. You gotta hear New Zealand, Australia,
The zombie-
England, all that.
The zombie apocalypse is going to start in California. I'm just
Oh,
predicting
I have
that
no
right
doubt.
now.
It already did. Right?
It
It's
already
already there.
has. Yeah.
I'm
started
ready.
last year.
I've got everything I need. I got the big Berkey guns, first aid, and radios. So
Big
the
turkey
thing
guns.
I've noticed is depending on what community you roll in. So there's obviously gun communities and there's first aid prepping communities, that kind of stuff. Whatever community it is, they're all usually neglecting radios in some way. Like the tactical community has gotten really big into Baofangs with the Bree
Yeah.
antennas.
Bree!
Totally a thing, right?
Airsoft. Like
But the way they're using them is like on GMRS frequencies or FRS frequencies. They're not really thinking about how do I organize a group
MERS.
on a simplex frequency. MERS, yeah, exactly. But then if you flip it and reverse it and you think about hams, we've got our comms dialed in, but we have like probably pretty lacking first aid kits, I would imagine. If you went,
I have a first
Like
aid
your
kit
local
on my
ham.
bag that I take with me on every single activation. And
but I
have
bet
a-
you don't have training in how
I
to
have
use
a
it.
full trauma
I can
kit
put a
and
Band-Aid
I
on
am
it.
trained.
That's what I'm talking
See?
about. But
I put a Band-Aid on.
yeah, and that's across the
Do it.
board.
no, I
He
don't.
got that- he got
That's
that
so
in
you don't.
CW.
That's so you don't
You
get
got that in
calluses
CW
from your
class.
guitar pick.
This is all the medicine you need.
Right.
This is it. This is all the
Yes.
medicine you need.
That doesn't thin out your blood at all.
Then out your
But that's a
blood
good
takes
point,
away
Josh.
the pain.
I don't have first aid training, but the whole point of this is that I'm the radio guy, and then
Right, I don't need it. I just get on my radio and say, help!
no.
See, here's
Medic!
the problem, Mike. When this happens and you're in a group and you say you've got 3 or 4 families, let's just say your family, your immediate family, and 2 or 3 guys that you completely trust. And I know we're going to lose this in less than a minute.
That's fine. We'll restart.
everybody-
Keep going.
Everybody kind of needs to have a level of training, a specialty, but you know, if you're the radio guy, you're still going out on patrols.
Of course.
You're still going to do guard duty. You're still going to cook. It's all
Yeah.
going to rotate. And it's going to rotate by day. It's going to rotate by shift. You know, all that. It's got to be like a military kind of a thing. And
Well,
that's
the
just
thing
kind
is,
of the
if you
way
have a
it is.
specialty.
Yeah, everyone has
If you
a
have a
skill, but
specialty, it's
everyone should
radio.
know how to do everything.
Well,
Yeah, right. Like as a radio guy, your job is to train everybody to be the radio guy.
exactly.
Right. Correct.
Right.
Except the key is you've got to have those people that have those other specialties in your group. So if you don't have those to help you out, then you're hosed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a tactical guy. You need a medical guy. You need a farmer.
The guy from
There's-
Texas is going to teach y'all how to shoot.
Well, basic understanding, right? They're probably not making antennas, but the how to use it in a tactical situation like Bob was mentioning, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Tactical, not like we're going to go shoot people, but tactical in the sense of small unit radio operation, right? A lot of people don't actually practice that. I mean, we do when we do nets. What do you think that is? That's kind of
Yeah.
how to work that to a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. The
Hey.
number of guys that just buy like 50 Baofangs for everybody in the world, and they never program them, never learn how to use them.
Never learn how to
Right.
use them. And we're going to continue with our zombie apocalypse. And nobody wants to say anything. Just
Well,
pick up where you left off.
So
No.
I think,
Nope.
let's see, what was I
Nope.
talking about?
I
Oh, I
think
will
it was-
mention this. I do have a series of videos on this topic, and I think it was, he moved. Smoking Apes Square moved
Yeah,
to me. So
everybody's-
I'm like, oh man, I'm
everybody's-
lost. I think it was already mentioned, but you got to have a little bit of everything, right? It's really good to have battery-powered receivers because batteries are going to be plentiful. You use that for listening a lot. And then you power up your main station when you need it, or on intervals like the Wilderness Protocol, same kind of thing. But you're also going to want to have VHF, UHF, Baofangs are actually good in this department because they work GMRS and FRS.
Yeah.
And so you can interoperate, which imagine, right? So imagine you're in this situation. It's end of the world as we know it. And you have to try and interoperate between radios, frequencies, and modes to try and orchestrate a community of people. Like if you live in the suburbs and a CB radio. So
Well,
you've
if you
got
live
all
in the
those
suburbs,
radios.
You're dead already.
But you've got all these radios around you, and you've got people that are calling for help, or they only have this radio, and you have to take the FRS radio, get the message, pick up the VHF radio, and go, this is where this person is, and they've got amoxicillin. They've got extra. Go get it, right? Like, it's crazy, but the big thing is power. Having a sustainable power source, and it can't just be solar. I mean, it can, but weather gets bad. Some of you live in an actual climate with winters, right? And so you're going to need a proper solar system, but then lots of batteries.
You need to have people that are strong that can steal car batteries.
Right. Right. And then generators, of course.
Those
But,
car batteries are lead acid, so they're not going to last very long out in the cold, just sitting there. So
that's right.
Well, so the radio guys are going to know that and move them inside.
But they're not deep. They're not deep cycle.
On all
Car
those
batteries are not deep cycle batteries.
Yeah, you got to get deep cycle batteries.
Obviously, you should just have a backpack that carries 300 or 400 watt solar panels in it, and then you'd be good.
That's it.
Not on a cloudy day.
Also, train on the outings when they send.
You don't have that backpack?
Look up for, and this is
in Minnesota in December.
Yeah.
When I watch The Walking Dead and things like that, look for houses that have the towers or a wire.
Right.
They're not. Or look for solar panels. Look for things that you could scavenge. I mean, power would be a huge thing.
Yeah.
Batteries especially, because you're going to need everything can run off a 12 volt. But look for the towers. Look for the radios. And if there's a ham, there's probably. I mean, in my shack, there's 12 radios, I think. There's only one. Don't rob me.
Settle.
It's one Baofeng. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I got. One UV5R.
Crate of Baofangs.
Josh has at least 12.
And it's not programmed.
He's got a 7300 and at least 12 Baofangs. So yeah.
Yeah, but you could. Yeah. But in the thing that we're talking about, like those would be things that you could scavenge, and I feel like I know there's hams in my community within a 20-mile radius of my house. There's all kinds of radios.
Oh yeah.
So it would not be hard to scavenge. There's probably, but also think for every house that has radios, those houses probably have guns too.
Pew pew.
So, and not just airsofts.
So in California, they're all
unless
airsoft.
they're in California. We only have airsoft here.
That's right.
Right.
And Nerf.
Out of the sticks, boys.
I was gonna say you've got it.
For now, that's going to get banned.
45 long Colt Nerf.
I don't know how many people think about they think about find like food and water and find clothing and bedding and things to keep you warm and all that, especially here in Michigan when it's actually not really cold right now, but it gets frickin' cold here. But having comms and even having Baofangs, I like what Bob said, having the DMR, so you have the digital simplex, which is kind of encrypted, but to just be able to communicate with a Baofeng, even with the crappy rubber duck that comes, you can talk to someone a few miles away on those radios. So
think about this. You don't need, and you probably don't want to communicate a few miles away in most tactical situations. You want to communicate 100 to 200 yards away, if that. I mean, small cell stuff. And so it's going to be low power. You're not going to burn the batteries up, in 2 hours.
Those are your plastic bubble batteries, though. Anything.
One watt on Baofeng.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, you want to do that in some cases.
That's what you want to do,
right?
Because you don't want the outside world.
You don't want them to know you're there.
What you're doing. You don't want them to hear you.
Right. So yes, low power, but even with those, so you get those stupid little short antennas that are like dummy loads. If you want to talk that even with 1 watt, you can still hit repeaters 10 miles away.
And you put that Baofeng, or you put that whatever you got in your in your load bearing vest, and you weigh that down another half pound.
That's
You guys
the other
don't know
thing
what I'm
is-
talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Everybody's got a load bearing vest, right?
But keep in mind, this stuff is heavy when you start. So you've got yourself so you're not bugging out or anything like that. But let's say you do have an HF portable and an HT, and then you got to have something to keep it charged, because assume you're going to be out for more than it's not just a soda activation. So then you're throwing in some kind of flexible folding panel or some battery of appreciable size. All of a sudden, it's not that it's necessarily heavy, because lithium ion is really light now, but it takes up a lot of bulk. Like a lot of the people that have these, all-in-wonder ammo cans for setting up portable, they're bulky. They're hard to walk around with. They're hard to carry in that capacity. And so put it on your back and take a walk with it. And all of a sudden you'll realize real quick, it's like, I don't know if I want to
But that's why you
make a
don't
life
see,
out of
that's
this.
why you don't see anyone doing POTA or soda or anything with a Hamo can. It's not practical.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what?
The Hamo, it's
Okay,
not just
this
a
is
Hamo
a
can,
tiny
it's the-
little 3 amp hour
rifle.
lithium iron phosphate battery that with the right radio, so like my recent RS 918, I could operate this radio just on receive literally probably at least 12 hours, I would guess, if not more, just because it draws like a quarter of an amp on receive.
But you know
So
what? When
it's
you're
nothing.
loaded down, Mike, when you're loaded down and you've got, let's say 120 rounds of ammo, you've got, a handgun, you've got a rifle, you've got water, you've got food to last you for, say, 2 days for some kind of a grid down, and you're going on patrol. This is just, you're not bugging out. We're not bugging out. Josh brought up a really good point, wilderness protocol. And what is it? How does it work? And how do we conserve batteries? So the one battery that we have in that handheld now is going to last us for the 2 or 3 days or maybe 5 days that you need it. And hey, Josh, tell us, what is the wilderness protocol?
Actually, you want Kevin to do it. 'Cause I
Kevin
know
would
it's-
Okay,
talk about
Kevin.
that, yeah.
But I could tell you, but Kevin hasn't talked. Go for it, Kevin.
Kevin hasn't talked all video.
All
so
right.
please let him say that.
Yeah, I'm just watching to see who's going to be my buddies later on. Right on. So, Wilderness Protocol. So I have a really good video on my channel about this, and it kind of goes in depth, but I try to simplify it because it can get kind of crazy. But so basically, it says starting at 7 a.m., but it could be around the clock. But every 3 hours, you monitor for 5 minutes on the calling frequency. So VHF calling frequency, UHF. It even throws in 6 meters in there. But I just kind of simplified it just to 2 meters. Most people listen to 146520. But when you're out in the wilderness and even roaming around in your car, you don't know what you can hear from the wilderness if you're in your car. But every 3 hours, starting at 7, 10, 1, 4, 7, around the clock, listen for 5 minutes. Anybody calling out for help or if somebody's in need. What you do, you just listen for 5 minutes just so you can save your battery. And you do need your battery to run for, 2-3 days. If you're out there in the middle of nowhere, you're lost for whatever reason. But it's battery conservation. And, if you're out there and you're listening for somebody that's in need and you want to help them out, and you can get to the right resources to find those people help. But that's kind of what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah, battery conservation is a good point. We had a situation here about 10 years ago. A snowstorm came through early in the season, and all the trees came down on the wires, and half the state was without power. And that was one of the things that everybody was trying to do, is how do we manage our batteries if you don't have a way to charge them and that kind of a thing. So that is an excellent point.
So everybody's got to know, everybody's got to know those times, because it's 5 minutes every 3 hours. So you got to have people, receiving and listening for anything else. And that's when you transmit. So everybody's got to know that rule.
Though, are you just listening? I suppose the ideal thing would be to throw a J-pole or something in a tree. But.
Well, yeah. When you get a little more advanced like us, obviously, if you're walking around a handheld in the wilderness, you better have a rolled J-pole with you if you want to get out, or at least get yourself to the top of a mountain. At least get up high. You're not going to be down in the canyon doing anything like that. But knowing radio, knowing how radio waves work, knowing just learning about radio. Get your radio license. You're not going to walk around with a Baofeng and you don't know how to use it. or how radios work. And once you learn how to use it, you put yourself in the best position to reach out for help. So,
and you also need, I don't know if you guys can see this. I took my Glock apart, but that's on the dust cover. That says Zombie Outbreak Response Team. You need to have those on all your guns.
That or stars, right?
I want to make a comment.
Does that make it shoot better?
Yes, by
No.
far.
Okay.
The
I wanna
Glock
make a
sights
comment.
suck, but when you have that,
That's why you just upgrade your sights. I want to make a comment of what Bob said about carrying 120 rounds with you. And I'm like, dude, if I'm in the zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna have like 1,020 rounds with me. So I just
yes.
Try doing a squat with that.
Of
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. Jason,
22 is actually a
I'm
good
right
shooting
there
round
with
to
you. You
agree
could
with
carry the ammo. I'll
Yeah.
I
carry
mean, at
the
that
radio.
point,
That's
if
fine.
you want
I'm
to
not-
carry,
I'm not old. So.
Bring your little red wagon behind with all the ammo in it.
The radio.
I was going to
flyer.
say, if you want to carry 1,022 rounds, it's probably going to be good currency when the world ends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not kidding. 22 is really probably
22 is
the
awesome,
best
man.
round to have.
22.
Not
22.
in The
Here's
Walking
what you
Dead.
here's
Hardly
what you
ever
want
in
to
The
stock.
Walking Dead.
Glock just
No,
came out with
no,
a
not
22
The
as
Walking
well.
Dead.
Here's what you want to stock up on: 22 ammo, vodka, and tampons.
Yep, vodka. Cheap
12 gauge.
vodka.
12 gauge.
I
And
don't
vacuum
even want to
pack,
know where that
cigarettes.
theory came from. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Tampons are actually really
No,
good for
they're gonna be necessity.
wounds.
Yeah.
Maxi pads,
Gunshot
not tampons.
wounds.
Maxi
No,
pads.
tampons. They if you have a bullet wound, like
Stick 'em in.
the Secret Service carries them. If you have a bullet wound, they insert it.
I know, but I'm saying maxi pads are more
Really?
universally usable.
So okay. Everyone, time out for a second. I
might have
actually
to edit
had
this
the
a little.
idea. I think you guys had just killed my idea. I actually had the idea 3 or 4 weeks ago that I thought I would like to get some lady ham radio operators on the YouTubers bunch. You guys just destroyed that. That's gone. So
Great.
that's why
they would
we're
have
all-
the tampons.
I'm not kidding. I had that idea. I'm like, hey, how come there's no women out there with a ham radio YouTube channel?
Because we're all calling them YLs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or XYLs.
There
yeah, that's
actually
real
is one.
nice.
There's a girl in Germany, I think. It's
Yeah, I
called
know who you're talking about.
Germany,
Radio YL
Finland.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know too.
Yeah.
And then technically, Tamitha Scove is a ham, right? But she just does the
Jerry.
weather thing. Jerry
Kate-
Ellsworth.
Jerry Ellsworth. I just
Katie
interviewed
Allen.
her.
Katie Allen,
Katie Allen.
WY7YL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't have YouTube, but she does a lot of social media.
Yeah,
She's
always
all
on
over
the
HRO.
W5KUB thing.
Yeah, she's on
Yeah.
KUB. Yeah.
So I will to
Amanda?
draw it back in really quick. I got to mention this because I don't want to forget. Take a look at your HTs. For all of you guys, everybody's got an HT. Take a look at the HTs and figure out. This is your homework. Figure out how easy it's going to be to charge it, not with its dongle, not on the wall, off of 12 volts. It's might be harder than you think with a standard HT.
Because they want like 7 volts.
watts or
That's
something.
right.
You gotta put 8
So-
volts
This
in it.
one's awesome.
So make sure you have a solution for that, particularly if you're
Right.
running off of solar. So
Right.
think about this stuff because again, we're talking about this. We're not. It's not a make-believe show. This could happen to some level. I live in California. There's earthquakes. We lose
We
gas. We
have
lose
wind.
power.
We get wind and we have lost power.
Right. So you got to have these things squared away, and you may not have to use it, right? But you need to have a solution for charging your HTs, for sure. That's why batteries are still battery-powered FRS radios, those rechargeable Eneloop type radios.
Mhm.
Really nice to have on hand because batteries are everywhere, and you'll be able to get more batteries. But recharging your high-dollar GPS APRS HT might be harder than that.
Hmm.
And Bofengs are terrible at that because they're 10 volts in.
That's
So
right.
I was just showing this. This is a
Wow.
Yaesu VX.
Great radio. Yeah.
7R. This has 12 volts in.
Yep.
That's how you charge it. I can plug my BioNO or any 12 volt battery right into this and charge it.
So-
Yeah, because keep in mind they all use different power leads. So you may have a bunch of standard HF, little mini barrel plugs for HF for 12 volts. That might not work with your HTs. So you're going to have to get an extra charging cable, an extra lead, or make one up. So there's your weekend project. Get that done.
Just touch them close, but don't cross the stream.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good reliable.
Well, you can also have. So I
Work for
touched
Ghostbusters.
on this power supply that we all have, that variable voltage one. So you can get a voltage, a step down regulator to go from 12 volts to 10 volts or 8 volts or whatever your HT charges. So,
I've got one right here.
There are power solutions. Yeah. There are
buck
power
converter
solutions that can step down. You're going to need different cables and things. But as you pilfer these houses from the people who are now zombies, there's probably going to be other barrel connectors lying around.
You're right, but that's, again, why leave your compound, your protected space, to go scrounging for barrel connectors when you can solve this next weekend, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you're going to need food eventually, so you have to leave the compound.
Yeah.
But
That's where the
ham stuff
1,000
is
rounds
not
comes in.
ham stuff is going to be rarer, particularly for if you're looking for a particular radio part or something like that, right? It's going to be harder to find. We don't all just have an HRO 10 minutes away from our house.
I know. I miss that. Damn, I miss that being in Orange County.
Well, I've never experienced that. The closest to me is in Ohio.
I just sent everybody
I think I have DX Engineering
link
and RNL.
to Amron.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good page. Amron.com. Good one, Smoking It.
Good. I think that Amazon will probably be in business after the zombie apocalypse happens, so we should be fine.
They're going to fund it.
Probably
Yeah.
so.
That's how they're going to take out competition.
There'll be zombies flying the drones to your house with the package.
Well, Amazon is going to
Yeah.
turn into Skynet, and they're very close to having drones. So
Yeah.
we could just do a couple ones and zeros or CW and call in an order, and we'll barter whatever we're using with the drones. Like, hey, I got electricity. If you want to charge back up, Mr. Drone. Oh boy.
Yeah, and you got to learn Morse code because that's
There
the only
you
way to
go.
communicate
Yeah.
with the
Right,
Amazon drones when they take over.
Yeah.
Save our scotch.
Come to the
Save our
M0SSC Morse code stream to learn Morse code before the world ends.
Save
That's right.
our scotch. I love that. That is great. Oh man. Cool. So I think I started with who's going to Hamcation? No, I'm kidding. But,
Was that what we were talking about?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's-
try to do Hamvention.
Yeah.
I thought
For
we
sure.
were talking about the Booth Babes.
We were talking about that. Yeah, that's it. That's at Friedrichshafen though. So
What's that?
What is Friedrichshafen? What?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Friedrichshafen is the name of a town in Germany.
You have to say it more angry, though. Friedrichshafen.
Friedrichshafen.
There you go.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, I'm German, so.
It's if you just Google ham radio Germany, it should come up.
Yeah, if you just Google Friedrichshafen, it'll come right up.
Right, exactly.
FRIED.
It's
Friedrichshafen.
It's
So-
where the Worldwide Radio Sport event takes place.
Yes, correct. But it was. I was told it was the biggest ham fest in the world, but that's actually wrong. Hamvention is bigger.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say.
Just
By about like
Barely.
2,000 or 3,000 or something.
something like that. Yeah, it's
Wow, that's
just
pretty good.
barely smaller than Hamvention.
So it is pretty
So-
big.
It's very big. Yeah,
And they have
So-
beer?
Oh yeah,
they're in
It's Germany,
Germany.
dude.
I assume they have a lot
it's
of beer.
Germany.
They allow beer in Germany.
I think
Anybody want to go to
Real
the,
beer?
the Japan Ham Radio Convention?
Tokyo.
I'm planning on it at some point.
I want
Should we,
to.
should we just not go to Dayton and go to Friedrichshafen? Excuse me.
No,
Friedrichshafen.
we can do both.
go to
It's
both.
okay. There's nothing that says we can't.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Can we
Except
get some patrons
Friedrichshafen
to
is sometimes
our
on the
tickets?
same weekend as Field Day.
We would be
Sometimes,
arrested.
yes.
We
I
would
would-
be arrested and thrown in a German jail.
I would
Could all
forego
say those stupid
Dayton.
Americans.
We can do YouTubers bunch at Friedrichshafen.
Oh, that'd
We
be
can
so
do the
fun.
Tokyo Ham Fair, and we can do the Hong Kong Ham Fest.
So how many viewers
We can't. We'd
like
all
to
die
donate
if we went to Hong Kong.
pay
I'm just
for
kidding.
us to show you all of those festivals? I think everyone should donate at least $100.
Oh yeah.
That's
Hi,
fair.
Mom.
We'll do a
Hi, Mom.
YouTubers.
Happy birthday from jail.
We'll do a YouTubers bunch GoFundMe account.
Hell
Say-
yeah.
Pay
Some-
for us to go to
somebody's-
Friedrichshafen.
Somebody's going to have to run a Learn German channel too here.
Yeah.
No, that's what
yeah.
Google
Yeah,
Translate
Google.
for.
Hey,
No,
Mom,
that's-
I'm in
Google
jail.
Translate.
Google's got that. Ein Bier. That's it.
Are you spelling that in German?
No.
Kevin, you're German too, aren't you?
Da.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
Russian.
That's Russian.
That's Russian.
I'm German and Russian, so there you go.
Oh wow.
Believe
Kinda bad.
Yeah.
I'm
You should
sorry.
know that. I worked with a couple Russians.
So
I know some swear words in Polish too.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes.
I know some swear words in CW.
It's okay. Nobody can copy it. So
Right? Yeah.
You don't know F.
Sterling
so
can now.
There's your
I do know F. I just sent F. Yeah. No,
Nope.
that's not F.
nope.
That's a question mark. That's a question
That
mark.
was a German F.
You know what really puts the attention on you is trying to do CW and with a bunch of hams. They love
Right,
that.
yeah.
That's
Nope,
really
that's
puts the
wrong.
pressure
That's
on
wrong.
you. You
That's
totally will screw it up. It's really hard.
Oh wow. All right, we are we've hit a lull, so let's wrap it up here.
Oh, we've beaten this to death.
We'll go ahead and record this part. What do you guys want to talk about next time?
I think we talked about favorite radios.
Favorite radios is good.
I have a term for it though, specifically the butterfly effect of like the radio that gives you butterflies. Not necessarily your favorite radio or your best radio, the radio that you think about and you're like, I just want to play with it. I just want to go activate something. I just want to use it. Like I use my 7300 the most, but I think my KX3 is more my like butterfly radio.
You have a KX3 or a KX2?
Sorry, KX2. My KX2, there's more memories, soda, the camp out, stuff like that. So every time I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I love, that radio is a lot of fun to pick up and use.
Yeah, that's
I was thinking, what if you could only have one radio? If you're doing your little,
that's a good idea.
Throwing in your pack, what would be the one radio?
That's a good idea.
That you could have.
No, my
I
KX3.
know.
My KX3.
So, can you have an
KX3,
amplifier?
I love my KX3.
Only if you throw the VHF chip in it or whatever, that little mod, or then maybe
cool.
yeah. But
yeah.
I'll just say 705.
You'd have to say what's your one radio mobile and battery powered. So
No, I like that topic. I think
I do. It's a good topic.
It really makes you think.
Yeah, Sophie's choice.
I do like that. If you could have one radio.
If you could have one radio.
And the reasons why, like features and benefits. I mean, you can bring a battery. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Or however you want to power it, but just the one.
Would you want an HT?
And why? Why would it be that?
Obviously, I would want a Baofeng UV5R because that's what everybody
I'm
else
thinking
is
the
gonna
UV3R.
have. That's what everybody else is going to have. So why not have the same thing?
UV3R for sure.
UV3R.
Yaesu 857.
No.
My Motorola
I'm kidding.
FRS.
I'm kidding.
Don't
To anybody
give it up
watching
now.
this that knows me,
Nobody
they know I'm
gives,
kidding.
nobody gives it up now.
Yeah.
IC 706 Mark II-G.
706.
Yep.
IC 706 Mark II-G. I've not seen a better radio than that ever.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played
IC
with that. A buddy of
7000
mine
maybe.
has one, but
They're great.
I haven't had a chance to.
They hold their value too, man.
They do.
Yeah.
They're hard
They
to
do.
find one.
I saw one at the swap meet at Quartz Fest. Guy wanted $600 for it.
Oh,
That's
Too much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're high. I saw
That's why
that
you
one
see
for
that.
RZ
That's why
right
you
now.
see. Yeah, that's why you see them at Hamfest for that price because nobody can sell them at that price.
Yep.
They're not worth that, but
Oh.
they're a good radio. Don't get me wrong; they're fantastic radio. They're not worth $600.
I bought
Just
one
thinking
for
we could throw out-
$300.
Say we all throw out our ideas, and everybody in the comments below can decide what they like the
There you
best.
go.
As long as I get to this point in the
Put it
video.
on QRZ too. Then we'll get a lot of comments.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
these all go
Yes.
on QRZ anyway. So I do the Premiere thing. You guys know what YouTube Premiere is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anyone not know what it is? It's okay if you don't.
All right, explain it to me.
Okay.
So here we go.
Figures that
not know?
the old guy would not know what it is.
Is this
So,
just us talking, or are you recording all this?
No, I'm
and putting it
recording.
on?
I'm recording. So YouTube. Okay, so everyone's done a live stream, I assume, and you've
No.
done a super chat, or at least you've been a part of a super chat, maybe on Josh's channel or Callum's channel or something like that. So when I record a video and edit it and then upload it to YouTube, I can set it as a premiere. So I can schedule a premiere, say, okay, I want to post this video at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday or whatever day. You can set it wherever you want to. When 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday rolls around, the video starts to play automatically, and it opens up a super chat. And while the video is playing, it's a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute video. While the video plays the first time, this chat is live. So you can live chat with the audience. And then once the video ends, it closes and you're done. It's just a one-time thing. So for the last 2 YouTubers Bunch episodes, that's what I've done. I'll post it and I use a plugin for YouTube called vidIQ that tells me a bunch of stats and crap on my channel. And it tells me that the best time of my channel gets the most watch time between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Time. So I usually post my videos around 5:30 p.m. so that 6 to 8 window is always hit. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll when I edit this and upload it, I'll set it as a premiere on a certain day, and I'll let you guys know. I'll send you a link. And then when it premieres, I've had anywhere from 30 to 80 people come in there and just live chat with me. So they're talking about, oh, that's a good point. Oh yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Oh, how about doing a topic about this and blah blah blah. So it's just a way. Cool. It's a really good way to interact with your audience. I think it works out really well.
That's
I've seen you
cool.
post those, but I haven't been able to coordinate like Josh's Saturday thing. I haven't watched the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Gotta
sorry.
get used to the new day.
I watched part of it last night. He did some good stuff last night. I enjoyed that episode.
I realized that FT8, I think, as far as videos are concerned, is getting less interesting or interest. It's starting to fold back a bit. I think people FT8's ubiquitous now. It's everywhere, so it's not something I think that's surprising or interesting. People just kind of get it. Plus, I think people are getting tired of the it's a contact, we're done. There's no conversing to it, right?
But I do it when I'm bored and there's nothing going on sideband. But other than that,
that's not to say it's FT8 isn't dwindling in activity. It's still the most used mode.
I tell you what.
No, yeah, you're right.
FT8,
No, absolutely.
Everybody's got it. I'm
talking about YouTube videos.
Yeah. FT8 in Costa Rica is on fire. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. What's FT8?
It's still fun. You're still playing radio.
Yeah. So, hey, Josh.
Never heard of
it. Switch to FT4.
I have. I don't know.
I tried it too, and it was like, meh.
Same thing. Like just a little faster.
I'm the same with like JS8 Call though. I think it's probably the best mode, especially for like what we've been talking about and with the whole thing hitting the fan. But I just kind of want to make a contact and move on. I don't particularly care to talk about the weather or carry on a conversation when I'm on the radio necessarily. So I do like that aspect of FT8, but JS8 Call is fantastic. I mean, that's probably the best mode for the stuff hits the fan if you really want to communicate.
It's called stuff.
Yes.
Shnikes.
Yes. When that happens.
But how many people are on JS8 Call? That's the thing. Is like
right.
So you're not going to communicate with anybody.
Well,
there's
you know what?
There's Jason KM4ACK. They're
yeah.
Actually, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. In that situation, the less people on, the better.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it's like
it depends
you're
on your purpose.
not going to get much of value, and then what if their station goes down?
Mm-hmm.
Then you know where you could go there and scavenge.
They've been eaten by zombies. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you could go over to their house and scavenge PL259s.
Can't have enough.
Don't forget the barrel connectors. And
right, I'm gonna drive over to Norway or wherever Julian is.
If you got
Finland.
If you can find some ferrite cores so we can get a little choke in there, that'd be great too. You've got mail.
All Mike needs is speaker wire.
Dude, that's it, man.
Yeah.
But no, it really doesn't matter. Like I know that's a thing, but to kind of sum it all up, to have like a radio guy, we can just make stuff out of things and get on the air. That's, to me, that's the most fascinating thing, and that's why I love this hobby so much.
You're valuable.
It allows us to. It's not even that. It allows us to explore and to experiment and trial and error. You know, you're going to fail a lot of times. Failure is a good thing. You still learn when you make mistakes, and then you make them better. So, yeah.
It sounded very Yoda-like.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda
I can't.
Get us on the air.
Best
I was gonna
teacher
say-
failure is.
Real quick, with the show of hands, how many people have had their coworkers, family, everything say, when everything goes down, I'm coming to your house?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I've had my coworkers say I'm coming to your house to kill you and take your stuff.
That I
God.
believe.
Yep.
I believe that. Yeah.
I certainly talk to my coworkers enough about ham radio, though. So I actually bring my radios to work.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Well, when I had a job, I did. So when I used to go to an office, I would have 3 or 4 HTs there, and everybody look at me. They're like, "Cool."
Yeah, I've got them. They're stacked all over my desk at school.
Just in case.
Yeah. Hey guys, we need to wrap this up. We're about out of time. If
Yep,
y'all
1
want to
minute.
join, if y'all want to join back again after it ends, we can do
I'm
that.
out. I'm out
So-
I'm out
after
too.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's late
Gotta-
here.
Screw you guys.
Time for dinner.
So 73. Thanks everyone
73.
for watching. Subscribe to the channels below that are linked in the YouTube description, and come find us at Hamcation.